a huge private retreat for himself. Universal City Hall, here to help the people. Robbit can do the job. Let's go, Robbit! Jump and go!
Ready to go? Yeah. Yeah. Ready to go? Yeah. Yeah.
beep. I forgot to mute my mic. Okay guys, welcome. We are here for today's STPL. Starting us off as our first team is going to be Psystorm. Psystorm, the national team of Bulgaria essentially. So I think Lucky Noob is going to be cheering for them today as he is Bulgarian himself, but he's not actually on Psy, I don't think. So that's interesting. I'm stroking my beard like, But either way, Coldgrass, Kiko, and Michael going to be starting up for them today. For NaS, we're going to have Dragon, Striker, the return of Eonzerg after a massive break from playing in, I think, not only just the STPL, but Brood War in general, it feels like. And then Desakwe as well. So NaS have definitely put out a strong roster this week. It's a shame we won't see who's the other person who's been just killing it for NaS recently. Obviously, Striker's lost quite a few of his recent games, but there was someone else who's been playing a lot for them who's been doing really well. But I suppose that doesn't matter. Let's have a look at the lineups we're going into. I'm a little bit late today, so I'm going to kind of zoom through the first screens. But we're starting us off with a ZVP on Charmander. Going to have a PVZ on Paradise, a TVZ on Pathfinder. And then, because it is STPL, we've got to have our guaranteed PvP. It's Michael versus Desakwe on Blindside. So that should be pretty good. Let's get into it. It's game number 1. It's Charmander. You've seen the map before. We know these players well. Let's get into it. Okay, starting us off here on the top right hand position in the teal, fighting for Psy. It's Cold. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom right hand corner, fighting for NaS. It's Dragon. Now Dragon, in case you didn't know this, is one of the kings of PvZ in STPL, more so ZVP, but when you look at his PvZ statistics, it's pretty insane. 11 wins, 6 losses, 64% win rate over those 17 games. Now Cold hasn't had similar luck. He is 3 wins, 7 losses, so only a 30% win rate for him, but Cold overall has lost more games than Dragon has, so it's just one of those things. Now, Psy cannot, unfortunately, get to the playoffs this season. When you look at the table, we have NaS currently in 6th position. Depending on how their game goes today and how DM's game goes. DM's already played this week. So, yeah, so depending on how NaS do here and how Ash do, it could change the No, actually, it won't. NaS are guaranteed, I think, 6th place, regardless of if they lose here. Yeah, they are. Mathematically, they can't actually, Oh, thank you, Pure Pat.
For the good cause.
So NaS are currently in 6th position. They cannot drop out of 6th, so they will be making it into the playoffs. So that means essentially the playoff spots are decided, minus a couple. It could switch up between IRK and Ash, I think, after today. But it's kind of a weird season. This season has been very, very, like, close at the top 6. But when you get after 6, it kind of falls off a little bit. But NaS haven't done as well this season as they were before. Thank you, Ryan, for the YouTube sub. Oh, that came up earlier. I don't know. Wait, that actually warned me about that earlier. I don't know why that's suddenly come up on Streamlabs now. I guess Streamlabs wants to do it. We've got a Forge fast expand coming in from Dragon. Cold went for a fast expansion behind a... I think this was a 12 pull into a 12 hatch. Should have been paying more attention, but that is me. No, actually, it would have been a 9 pull, I'm guessing. Because he already does have a decent number of lings, and he's already up to 14 supply. I don't know. I need to pay way more attention to the start of the game. Medina brought this up before. It's definitely one of my weakest parts. But it's also one of those things where I do everything on my own. It's very easy to get distracted, so... It's not like I'm zero and I have like 6 people all helping me out. It's just me on my own. You know? Me on my own, putting up with all you crazy people in chat. Also trying to deal with my own craziness. Watching some Brood War. Okay, 3rd hatchery coming in down here for Cold. Now, Dragon, as I mentioned, plays incredibly good CVP. There's not much Zerg can do to him in PvZ that he will worry about. Dragon has got the all-time top streak against Protoss players as Zerg. He's won 12-0 in a row. It's not ongoing because he lost his recent ZVP. But essentially it means if you're going to go for a Hydra Bust against Dragon, it is more than likely not going to work. Dragon has Hydra Busted so many people, he knows the exact number of cannons, the exact timing to build them, to make sure he doesn't die. And how the heck have you just contributed 6,000 channel points to the drinking stream? How is that possible? We, by the way, we didn't get a prediction for this game, did we? If you contribute every time, you get to donate more. Okay, I'm gonna have to put up the number. Oh wow, FakeFin's saying he still has 30,000 points left after contributing 4,000. We had a prediction but only one person bet, so it didn't count. Fair enough. Okay, Overlord gonna come in, scout the Stargate when it eventually gets over there. Just the guy in chat is the guy who bet, I think. But I think if you're the only person who's bet, it doesn't give you anything, because it doesn't... I've put the... What they've done is on the actual stream overlay, the dashboard, you can put the prediction stuff on there now, and it's not updated to show your bet. So I'm guessing that's fine. Now, Cold looks like he's waiting to build something here, but I'm not really sure what it is. I wonder if he... I think he may have built the Spire and it didn't build. And that's kind of heartbreaking, because you do need the Spire as quick as you can against the Corsair that is popping out right this second. Now, he is going to ignore the Overlord at his base. That is the normal play to make. He's going to go for a Scout as fast as he can. And as I mentioned before, where Dragon is so powerful at PvZ, he knows exactly what to scout for. And when he does scout, he knows exactly what he's up against. I'd say that's one of the major benefits of race picking. Like, I prefer playing mirrors because I love TVT. But like, if you learn ZVT or PVT, for instance, it's going to make your TVP or TVZ better. I think that's just the way it works. As long as you're actually competent at playing that matchup, which Dragon certainly is, then it really, really does help. Now, the Corsair is going to get free reign over these Overlords for a little bit, because there isn't a way for him to kill them. We've got the 5th hatchery coming up, the Hydra Den out in the front. Now, the Zerglings are coming back here. Not 100% sure why, but I guess them sitting outside the base doesn't really achieve anything. And we've got the Templar Archives coming in here as well. We've got +1 air coming in. Dragon just playing this completely standard. I think I've brought this up before when I've been streaming, but essentially like the North American players, more so than I think any other region, play super standard. All of them. There's only 2 people in the North American regions that I would say play really cheesy. One of them is the person who got named the Cheese King, which was Michael. He's an American Zerg player. And the other one is Tai 2, who is a... I think he's also an American, but I think he might be... I think he's Chinese American, I can't remember. But either way, another American Zerg player got known as the Cheese Prince. So, not too many non-standard players. I guess the best example of this is Jaeyun, and Jaeyun's stream is literally him teaching people how to play standard as well. And then you've got Artosis as well, of course, we can't forget him. Standard man, essentially, for Terran. But looks like we are going to have some Zealots coming here. There's actually that many units back here to defend. The Sim City isn't quite done yet, so the Sunkens are not yet finished. When a Sunken does spawn, it loses 100 health. So you'll notice this will go down to 30 health, in case you didn't know that before. And that means he can clear it very, very quickly. More Overlords are being taken down, and I think this could be game over. Cold does not really have much going on to defend. Hydralisks are popping out, but they're dying to the overwhelming number of Zealots here. And it looks like he's going to have to sack this base. And if you lose your 3rd base, you lose 3 hatcheries in this case. You lose an Evolution Chamber. And it's more than likely you're going to lose the game. Cold is supply blocked. He can't even build any Hydras to come back and defend. I think, if I remember rightly, hatcheries give like 1 or 3 supply, so he's going to be more supply blocked. It's 1. Then a DT coming in here as well. This is going to be the end of the game. Cold is trying to hold on, but the Overlords in the main base have been cleaned up. There is literally no Overlords anywhere at the moment. I think there's 2 outside of... Okay, there's 1 in the top left-hand corner, and 3 hatcheries. There we go, 4 hatcheries. Cold has left the game, Dragon wins game number 1, and that's going to take us into game 2 when we get back, just after this.
There's been a kidnapping. It's Rachel, the daughter of the president of Sertia. Get into the castle and rescue Rachel.
Sometime, somewhere, someone is plotting a government overthrow. A small republic is in danger. It's time for the one-man army. Richard Miller. She must be dead by now.
Don't come!
Rachel McPherson.
Since you have traveled so very far, be my guest and...
Okay guys, welcome back. We're here for game number 2. Starting us off in the top left hand corner, we have the captain of Psi himself, fighting from Bulgaria. It's the blue Protoss player. It's Grast. We currently have predictions up in the chat. If you want to bet some channel points, you can do. Starting us off down here in the bottom right hand corner in the red, fighting from North America, it's Striker, fighting for NaS. So we've got no votes so far. I can't predict. And I probably shouldn't be able to predict, I guess, as well, because that might be a little bit messy. Yeah, mods can't bet either. Players can bet, so that's an interesting way of seeing if they know who wins. LML bet on himself, but LML said he was going to bet on himself anyway. Could you imagine if the Twitch betting system led to match fixing? Like, imagine how pointless that would be. That would be so unbelievably pointless. You don't get anything for channel points. I'm desperately trying to figure out how to give channel points a reason to be used, and it's so hard. Like, I can't offer anything for channel points that people want, due to the nature of streams and stuff. Yeah, and unfortunately some countries are blocked from using the betting system because it's against the gambling laws of the country. FakeFin saying that team captains can download all the replays each week and bet accordingly. You know, I've never actually thought of that being a problem, but you know what? Maybe in the next season we're going to have to get people to put their replays in their own team channel. Because I just suddenly thought, like, people could just download all the replays if they wanted to. And that kind of goes against the point of trying to put them on Patreon so people will buy them. We've got a wild future in chat who's not been around for ages. He's not played for Ash either. He joined Ash and hasn't played a single week. I'm let down, man. Wait, did you join Ash or am I misremembering? Even NaS would need you, man. NaS are down on players. Oh, apparently you joined like 2 seasons ago. Wow, was it that long ago? Oh, you played a match. Oh yeah, you played a match. Didn't you win on Troy? I seem to remember you won on Troy in a PvP. How do I remember that game? How do I remember that? What the hell? I remember such pointless things. I cannot remember important things in my life whatsoever, but there we go. We've got a third hatchery coming in for Striker. This was off the back of an overpull. We had a Forge Fast Expand coming in from Grassed into a Nexus. Now on this map so far, Zerg have had a pretty big advantage, but the sample size isn't super big. We've only had 11 games on here so far. This will be the 12th. Zerg have won 7, Protoss have only won 4, but most of the games on this map are quite fast. Okay, Invidentia makes a good point. Don't call Futures Win pointless. It wasn't pointless, but I don't know, like, in my actual daily life, I do not need to remember that fact. I need to remember stuff that helps me in my job and in my life, and I can't remember any of it. I had to ask someone at work how to do something today that I've done hundreds of times before, because I literally just forgot how to do it. Like, I don't know, my memory is terrible. And that reminds me, I need to do something after this for someone who asked me to do something this morning, which I completely forgot to do. I said I'd do it after work, and I forgot. So there we go. And just a huge shout out as well to our sponsors, Esport Fund, who I forgot to do that for. But they did contribute $1,000 to the prize pool. We've still not reached our $2,000 prize pool goal, but if you want to help out, to help us free the Dodal, as well as meet our prize pool goal, you can contribute over on the Matrino. There's still codes left, I believe, where you can enter the code STPLS4 to add 50 cents to the prize pool completely free. We're currently $600 away from making that goal happen, so we've got a Spire coming in here as well. This is fairly straightforward, fairly standard once again from our North American player. I kind of expect standard play from USA players now, and I'm never disappointed. Now, there's no zealots in this wall. Where are the zealots? Okay, one zealot is over here. The second zealot is down here, but there's a... Striker could have ran through the wall there. Like, this was not tight. He could have just walked in. I guess he didn't realize, but the first zealot is going to try and come in here. Going to get caught on the hatchery. Nice link movement by Striker, by the way, to be able to get a nice surround on that zealot. Not losing a single link so far, or a single drone. Very nice defense. It's currently -2 in the UK. I'm starting to feel the cold coming through my window, even though it's shut. I should probably look at turning the heat on after this game, but Not too bad. We've got the cannon coming up in the main. Stargate coming up as well. Grast hasn't really seen too much. He's not seen a Hydra Den, so he kind of has to prepare for Muteless just in case. Now this is good SimCity here. 3 or 2 hatcheries in the Hydra Den, creating the wall at the natural. Lings and Hydras I think can still fit through here. So what? Wait, what? Wait, what? What happened? was that a betrayal? What was the drone bugged or something? What the hell? Okay, I guess Striker doesn't want that drone to live. He's like, you're an accident. He just like destroys him, erases him from reality. Okay, another 2 gateways coming up in the main. This is where we're going to see Grast go for a little bit of a gateway explosion as he moves up to his Templar Archives, which currently isn't on the map. Okay, the Templar Archives is late and that could cause problems. You need Storm. These Lings still attacking this. You do have to kill the egg because units can't get out otherwise, but you can already see that Striker doesn't want to mine these 2 minerals because these mine out very, very quickly. And if you mine them, your opponent can walk into your 3rd base. Also meta, like I get why people are angry about the BSL thing, but the BSL things didn't start at the start of the ladder season, and it's been going on a very long time. Like, there was no guarantee that the ladder season was going to wait for BSL to finish, and Zero has done the best thing he can possibly do to fix it, so it's not a big deal. Like, the ladder, I think the ladder qualification maybe went on too long, but it's not too bad, and Zero's fixed it, so it's all good. Zero's done the best possible thing he could have done. He's given the people who are already really far up
Amused, huh?
and sorted it.
STPL still the best competitive Brood War channel. Keep going, bro.
Thank you, Clarinet, for the 9-month resub. Means a lot. Now we've got Hydras coming up here, and this is when you start to see problems with the
qualifications.
I thank you, Pure Power, for the 200 bits. But this is where you start to see problems with not having Storm. If he'd had a Templar Archives already, he would have Storm finished and High Templar ready to deal with this, and he would not need to worry about building 50 million cannons, because now he's going to be in a lot of trouble. The Forge is going to go down, +1 attack is finished, but +1 armor is not. Now the cannons are going to start to come in. That will allow him to stay alive. We do have the Corsairs flying around the backside here, looking for Overlords, but oh, one of the Corsairs goes down to Scourge, and this is going to be a problem. And yeah, I know that you're saying Zero didn't do a bad job, but I don't necessarily feel it's Blizzard's fault. The fact that Blizzard completely ignored Zero when he messaged them is a bit of a problem, but the trouble is, I don't think they have anyone working on StarCraft Remastered anymore, at least not full-time. So, like, they probably didn't even know. That's the problem. Like, when Blizzard are gonna fire everyone that's, like, community outreach, stuff like this is gonna happen. Like, Blizzard have literally got rid of all of their community managers, I think, for the most part. Yeah, but people aren't going to do it for free, and they're not going to be allowed to do it for free either. That's the thing. Like, I'm fairly certain that would be illegal for a corporation to make people work for free. But, like, it's Blizzard of, like, okay, it's not Blizzard, it's Activision. And Activision have essentially gutted Blizzard to the fact that they can't do anything anymore. Like, Blizzard is not the Blizzard that we all used to know and love. It's just shareholders, man. Gotta pay the shareholders. Oh, that's a nice storm. Yeah, internships are messed up. I hate internships as well. My stepbrother got fucked over by an internship as well. He got paid an intern's wage, got expected to do a full-time job, and then they didn't even put him on any of the courses they said they would. And what? He's here as well. Like, what the hell? I didn't expect that. Okay, 4th base is up here for Striker. But yeah, internships are bad. Like, they should be illegal. Or at least they should be heavily, heavily regulated, so they're actually internships. But you should get paid a living wage when you're an intern. Okay, we've got 9 gateways now. With the oh no, we've only got 8 because the one at the front did die. We're starting to see a bit of a problem here though for Grast. He is getting himself Lurker contained. And if you've watched Brood War before, you know that Lurker... Oh my god, we've even got forward hatchery. He's building a hatchery outside his opponent's base. He's going to use this to get creep. And he's going to put Sunkens. And he is going to end the game this way. This is a dirty way to play, but when the map allows it, why not go for it? If you know your opponent is locked in his base, you have the Lurker contained, why not just make it basically indestructible? That's the best way to look at it. It's so much harder for Protoss to push out their base than it is for, like, than it is for Zerg to sit here. And yeah, you can't storm Sunkens. You can storm Hydras and Lurkers, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. But he lost his only observer, which is going to be a problem. Nice storms though. Grass is still doing a pretty good job here. And he misses the Lurker. That's so unfortunate. It's in the animation, but it's not dying. He's getting a lot of Hydras with the storm, but the Lurkers are the big problem. And we've even got drops coming in as well. So we're going to have drops coming into the main most likely while he's trying to push out. We've got patrolling Hydras back here. No Hive on the way just yet, but with the 5th base coming up down here, this is looking to be one of the longer games we've had here. Looks like one of the Lurkers goes down. He does need more than one Hydra attacking this. He does. Oh, that's a nice storm. Yeah, Lurkers do beat Dragoons one-on-one. And yeah, this is definitely looking to be a bit of a problem. We do have a decent push out so far. But if we start to have drones built up here, Sunkens built up here as well, unless you get Reavers, well, to be honest, I feel like unless you've got Reavers, you're not breaking out anyway. But like when there's Sunkens involved, it's either you get Reavers or you die. Like you can't deal with it. And oh my god, I completely missed this. A 17 kill Lurker. Sorry, my bad. There we go. That'll teach me for looking at the screen rather than the minimap. Shows how kind of tired I am, but this is basically game over. It's 52 drones against 14 probes. There was a Lurker drop in the main as well. Didn't do as much, but still did get a few. But yeah, this is one of those moments where me paying attention to the wrong things causes some problems. But yeah, this drop didn't really do too much. The drop in the natural was really the one that won the game. 18 kills. Ridiculous. Now the storms are still good. He still does have a decent army. Can he break out? That is the big question. Creep colonies coming up at the back as well. Storm coming down on some of the Lurkers. But there's just so many Zerg units. There's so much Zerg flooding all across the map. Like, if you look at Striker's vision, he can see everything. And there we go, another drop coming into the main, another drop coming into the same drop in the natural. He hasn't been able to clean this up. And the final probes are going to go down here. He just can't possibly deal with this. He's trying to break through, but he just can't break out. It's 6 probes for our Protoss player. Grass is fighting valiantly, but it doesn't matter how many probes you can rebuild. You are never getting back in this game. GG, Grass taps out, Striker wins game number 2, and we'll be back in a few minutes with game number 3. Okay guys, welcome back. Starting us off down here in the bottom left hand corner, fighting from Belgium for NaS, it's Zerg. And his opponent fighting from Bulgaria in the red, down in the right hand corner, it's Kiko fighting for pSi. Okay, so we're at the start of the game. Metaphysics asked me, what do I think about the new ladder map pool? I am not that phased by the new ladder map pool. I don't really play ladder anymore anyway. But I think it's good that Circuit Breaker and Fighting Spirit are finally gone. I'll admit I've been kind of advocating for that for a very long time. I feel like Circuit Breaker and Fighting Spirit have had their time. There's other new maps that are super standard that everyone seems to like Polypoid. So you don't really need Fighting Spirit and Circuit Breakers anymore. The only reason why it was put back in all the time was because of the people on Fish who only ever used to play Fighting Spirit. But, the thing is, the problem I had was having Fighting Spirit and Circuit Breaker, because at the end of the day, back in 2009, Circuit Breaker was made as a map to replace Fighting Spirit. Fighting Spirit was replaced in the pro scene by Circuit Breaker. That was the entire reason Circuit Breaker took over. And then for some reason, after the pro scene, when everyone was playing on Fish, Fighting Spirit was the only map people played. It was like the only map on the on the ladder of Fish for some reason. Unlucky noob, you should hate Fighting Spirit because late game it's terrible for Zerg against Terran. Fighting Spirit has become really imber in CVT. Mech switch on Fighting Spirit is almost unbeatable. Unlucky noob saying he doesn't do late game. I reckon having Plasma is good in the pool, because Plasma is a fun map to play. I would have preferred Pathfinder, but that's just me. Thing is, for the first time, where Matt Sherman is no longer working on Remastered, I don't think he's a StarCraft producer. What's basically happened was before, Matt would always send me the map pools and see what I thought. He was just wondering, see if there was any ideas for any maps that could be put in or something. Very rarely I got listened to because, he kind of always brought it to me as just an advisory, knowing that the Koreans kind of made the decisions. But, he didn't actually message me this time, so I kind of realized that I think the community outreach for Brood War is now non-existent, which is kind of sad, but there we go. Chain reaction would be cool. Thing is, Future, I was literally the one that basically gave them a list of pretty much every pro map ever made. I basically put them into categories of standard, non-standard, and I called them kicks maps because that's what people call them. And I was like, this is how they are. Okay, so we've got there coming up off of 2 hatcheries for Zerg here. Kiko going for a 1 base play here. Not going for an expansion just yet, unless this is a command center. Nope. He's going for... This is kind of strange. He's gone for a wall in, which makes it look like he's going to go for tech. And he's actually going for really fast bio. So this is kind of cool. Now it looks like Zerg are going to be coming in here trying to see what's happening. He sees the second barracks. He doesn't know about the lack of expansion just yet, but he does have an overlord up here. Now if Kiko can get this overlord, he is going to be in a very good spot, but he has to know it's coming. Zerg going for a scout, sees the extra marines at the top of the ramp, knows the marines are still being built. Now he doesn't see the medic. He has to hide the medic. If Zerg sees this medic, he knows what's coming. Now Eon back home is getting his spire up, but he's only got a single sunken. This is going to be Sparks Terran. Not quite Sparks, because he's going for an incredibly early +1 armor, actually. This is weird. This isn't a... It's not really a normal 1 base Terran play. But I wonder if he's going to make it work. And Fake Fin, they didn't always take the maps from tournaments. It's just if there was a tournament with a map in it, they were more likely to put it in. And they would usually look at the map balance on Spawn Bank to see what they were like. Yeah, like, people know me well enough to know that I'm always going to have weird maps in STPL. I know a lot of people weren't very happy this season with all the new maps because it meant there were maps they'd never played before. But I genuinely think we've had some incredibly good games. And I think it's because of the maps. I think out of all the maps, there's a few that are a little bit too strange, like Rose and Bridge, but even then, I feel like that's led to incredibly good games as well. Now, I am going to maybe dial it down a little bit next season, but that's because I'm not going to have 6 brand new maps to put in the pool. So it's going to be like dialed down by default, but here we go. Looks like we are going to have the push out of the bio. A couple of Marines going to be left in the main base. This isn't that much bio, given the fact he's had 3 barracks for so long. But looks like he is trying to hide his bio. Looks like the medics will see, though. The mutalists will see this. The medics running off on their own, can't afford to lose them. But looks like the mute account has been cut a little bit here. And Eon's could be in a little bit of trouble. Nice pullback on the mutas, though. Only 2 sunken still. 3 medics, out heal 2 sunkens. Thing is, I don't necessarily want to use ladder maps, because ladder maps are in every tournament. That's my problem. I don't really want to cast games when you can watch other tournaments if you want to watch those maps. And I don't really like the current map pool. I don't know, I'm weird. I'll pick standard maps though. It'll be fine. There'll be maps that people have played. But Kiko has run out of time. Although Eon Zerg still isn't building any sunkens. I think Eon is maybe a little bit too confident here. I think Kiko might be able to take down Eon. Although there is a good number of mutas, there isn't that much bio. I think Kiko has been struggling to build his Marines or something, because where is all his bio? Like, I don't understand. He's been on 3 medics this whole time. 3 barracks even. Nice target firing by the Marines, with the Marines at the back dying to the mutalists here. I think this rush is over. I think this is it. I think this is game over. Honestly, Meta, I've wanted to put Beltway in the STPL for a long time. I was actually thinking of picking that map. I really like Beltway. It's not really seen any play since 2010 when it was in SPL. So I was thinking of putting it in. Wait, Neo Beltway, was that 2011? Or was that 2010? It's good, but it's weird. That might be my weird 4-player map choice for next season. Yeah, I think this game is essentially over. Kiko is going to find it near impossible to be able to expand. And Eon Zerg's held on long enough that he's going to be able to get lurkers, and that's going to allow him to defend against basically everything. You can already see Eon Zerg. I thought he was about to take a 4th base, but there was actually just some overlords he's setting up there. Kiko going for some scans. He is going for what looked like a starport, and then he cancelled it and rebuilt it. Now, Kiko still has a chance. There is a timing push. He's not going to be able to hit it because it's supposed to come out around 9 minutes 30. But it's called the E-hand timing. Because essentially you come out at the perfect time. The Zerg does not have enough to deal with it. You usually have 2 tanks, 3 tanks, and a vessel. Now the trouble is for Kiko, he's not going to be able to hit that timing. And when you can't hit that timing on one base, that is basically game over for Terran. Like, there's no turrets to the back of the base here, so the mutas are just going to have free reign over everything. And Eon has definitely walked this game home. GG, Kiko taps out, Eon wins game number 3, and that's going to take us to a quick break. When we get back after this, we'll have game number 4, PvP, between Michael and Asakwe.
Action! Danger! 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 There he is! Gotcha! Action! 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 Reload! Reload! Reload!
Okay guys, welcome back. We're here for game number 4. Sire currently 0-3 down. Can the player in the 6 o'clock position do something about that? Can he keep his team's pride alive? Or is he going to lose here? But it's Psi's Michael in the magenta from Bulgaria. And his opponent looking to take it home for a 4-0 sweep for NaS in the teal. It's Desakwe from Croatia. Okay, so PvP, it's our token PvP for the day's STPL. Have we got any more PvPs coming up after this, I wonder? I'm not too sure. Let me have a look at the thread to see what the second series is. We do have a PvP, and it's game 4. Oh man, PvP curse for game 4, but next series is going to be Ash versus Wico, should be pretty good. Got a gateway coming in for both players. Are we going to have either player go for a 2-gate, or are we going to have mirror builds again? Gas coming up here for Desakwe. Gas not coming up just yet for... Sorry, gas coming up for Michael. 2-gate coming up for Desakwe. So for the first time in a while, we're not going to have mirror builds in a mirror matchup, because that seems to be a very common thing we have in the STPL recently, especially in PvP. Okay, so core coming up for Michael. Neither player have actually scouted each other just yet. They're going to come in and do that in just a moment. Looks like Michael going to see the second gateway now. Does Michael decide to go for... One thing you can do is actually go for a gas steal. I've seen that in PvP, but a lot of the time when it's 1 gate against 2, you'll see the second player get a second gateway almost immediately, just so he can build enough units to defend. Now... Oh, is he going to get the scouting probe here? Doesn't quite get it, but does block the gas mining for just a little bit. First, let it come out. Oh, this gateway position is going to cause him problems. If he builds a Dragoon, that Dragoon is going to either have to go the whole way around, or it's going to go through the minerals and come out that way, and it's going to take forever. At least I think that's going to happen. That's what I'm calling. Yeah, PvP is kind of cool when it gets to the late game, but before then, it's just the same. Like, basically every game looks the same in PvP to me until you start to see... It's when you get into Templar tech that PvP gets interesting, because even the bits where there's Reavers, it often very much looks exactly the same no matter who's playing and no matter what map it's on. You know? It's just like... One person pushes with the Reaver, it either doesn't work or it works. And I know that's a very Michael Owen style commentary of you either win or you lose, but like... Basically, like, Reavers either win the push or you just immediately lose the game afterwards. The micro can be cool, but I don't know. Like, micro in PvP... I guess it's the most obvious micro because like it feels like everything dies so slowly. But this is going to be a problem. The Dragoon is kind of stuck in the natural, sorry, in the mineral line. It is getting a couple of hits off. We do have the shield barrier coming up at the front. And that's going to help him defend with his zealots. But looks like one of the zealots have gone down already. Another probe going down. Desarque taking a pretty big lead here. He cancels the shield battery, which honestly is a good move. He doesn't really need it. But he does hold his main for the time being. Probe's still alive up here. Actually going to go for a late mana pylon. Going to trap one of the probes. So he gets both of them out. But look at this. 4 probes going around the back of the minerals. That was a perfect mana pylon. 6 probes. Now mining very inefficiently. Now he cancels the pylon immediately. I'm not sure I agree with that. He should have waited until it finished. But looks like he is going to be up against a Robo. Whereas he is going for a Citadel. So it's going to be DTs versus possible Reaver. Is Michael going to get a cheeky win here by going DTs against no detection? Or is Desarque going to build an observatory? This is one of the only things that matter in PvP in the early game. Do you bother to try and build any form of detection? Or do you just die to DTs? That's happened a lot recently. We've had so many games decided by DTs in the STPL this season. But it's definitely something that happens quite often. It's kind of like a gamble in PvP. Like, do I skip a forge or an observatory? And then you get the players who build the forge anyway, and they build like a cannon rather than going for observers. And then the cannons don't do anything and they die. So I get why people skip those buildings. You want as much as you possibly can. Looks like Michael going to have trouble breaking out of his base here. There is going to be a concave that he's going to be pushing out to with a convex, so that's definitely not something you want to do. Michael coming out with another probe. He wants to try and go and scout. Okay, we do have an observatory. DTs should not do anything here, but there is a chance they still could. 2 DTs, 4 DTs are actually going to be coming out here from Michael. Now he's going to be able to use that to break out, but as soon as he shows the DTs to the Dragoons, he knows that that is going to be the end. Now it looks like the end of the rush. So Michael looks like he wanted to pull the Dragoons down so he could sneak the DTs past, but as long as Desarque is looking at this, he should know. And he's actually going to push out with the DTs, so he does know exactly that the DTs are coming. Nice target firing so far on that DT. But the thing is, there's an observer back here anyway. Now, there is a funny thing in PvP, where if you just get, like, 10 DTs, they can have an observer, and your DTs will do so much damage so quickly, it doesn't even matter. Now, look at Michael. Michael is going for a forge and going for a cannon as his main base because he thinks his opponent's going DTs as well. Now there should be enough units here to deal with 4 DTs. So he needs to wait. Like, he can't lose any DTs right now. He has to pull back. Takes a little bit of health. Some hull damage, I guess you could say, on this DT, which is a bit weird given it's a humanoid, but there we go. Yeah, Desarque is pretty safe now. And all of a sudden, those 4 DTs are pretty much useless. Honestly, I would love to see him build 2 Dark Archons. Build 2 Dark Archons, get mind control, wait for them to go for a shuttle drop on you, or you feed back their High Templar, and you're going to be in a good spot. Okay, that Zealot died before this DT could even start firing. Like, what the hell? Cannon's coming up at the natural. Now we do have a DT. If he had a shuttle right now, he'd be in a good spot, but the Robo is still not done. Back home for Desarque. He's obviously getting into his Reavers. He's going straight into Templar Archives behind this as well. And this is where Dark Archons can be really good. Feedback is incredibly good against Storm Drop. Mind Control is incredibly good against Storm Drop as well, because you can steal 4 DT or 4 High Templar and a shuttle. And feedback is just good in general. It's so good against High Templar. They always have high energy. Not as good as it is against Defilers, which are basically always waddling around with like max energy and it's an insta-kill. But if you storm your opponent's army and they don't storm yours, you win the game. Now recently in in ASTL, there was a really good PvP between Best and who was he playing against? It was Best against who? I can't remember who he was up against, but it was it was Best versus Stork, I think. And it was such a good PvP. And it came down to late game Storm. If you feed back their High Templar before they can storm your army, you will win the game. And goddamn, it's cold. Funny thing is, I'm complaining about this, the cold, and I've made friends with some guy in Estonia recently, and essentially, like, it's -20 there right now, and I'm on -2, and I'm like, ugh, it's so cold. We don't have snow anymore. The snow all melted today, but it did snow on the weekend. It didn't settle much, but it kind of got there. We had like maybe 2 centimeters of snow. Most of it melted on the first day, but it kept snowing just enough to not fully disappear. But today it's fully disappeared. It was sunny all day, so it melted it all. Oh, Reaver in the main base. Looks like this is a good drop. He's got 2 DTs in the drop as well. And he killed the cannon. And there's no observatory. There is an observatory, but no observer. This is a very technical drop here. And looks like the... Wait, did he lose the shoal? I think he lost the shoal with the Reaver in it. That's a little bit unfortunate, but he got a good number of probes with that. "48 probes. Against 29, does it look like Desakwe has Desakwe'd his way through another opponent yet again? Looks like we've got another drop coming in here. This is going to be a Storm and DT drop. Now, Storm is very good against probes. Storm is very good against probes, and oh my god, that's so much damage. 8 kills, 13 kills overall. The shuttle, though, is going to have to forgo picking up this High Templar. And oh, Dragoon gets the other one. That is going to be the end of that drop, but still, decent amount of damage, kind of evening up the probe count. We've got a cannon coming back up here in the main, and that's going to keep him a little bit safer against anything else. So the one big difference this game is we have 8 gateways already for Desakwe, whereas Michael is only on 4 going up to 6. So the longer this game goes on, the better it's going to look for Desakwe, as long as he can keep up his probe production. You cannot drop on this. This is a doodad which is on stand, or you can't stand on it, I don't think. Which is why you don't ever see it used, really. As far as I'm aware, you can't stand on this, because that would be really broken if you could drop tanks up here. It's either that or you can stand on the doodad, but you can't stand on what's underneath it, so it doesn't work. I know you can't drop there though, but here we go, another drop coming into the natural. Big storm. Couple of big storms there. Looks like both the High Templar are going to get taken down. The Shotler is going to go down as well. But Desakwe is going to regain his probe advantage that he had before. Now I really like this. There's a lot of scouting pylons. There's a scouting DT and another scouting pylon. It basically means that Desakwe sees a ring outside of his opponent's base. Now he does need a pylon up here to see this area, and he needs a unit down here. Or I think you can build a pylon down here. Just to sort of really shove it in. And what that basically means is you can prepare for any drops. And that's exactly what you need to do. The only way Michael has back in this game is by decimating your economy. Leaving you with 1/10 of it alive, because I'm using the correct definition of the word, decimate. And basically making things impossible. Wait, is decimate leaving 1/10 and killing 9/10, or is it killing 1/10? I can't remember. It's one of the two. I may have got it wrong. But just imagine, right? Just imagine. If he had feedback, he would have saved himself all those probe deaths. All of those probes would have been saved. Decimate is killing 1/10. Okay, thank you. But we are going to have a drop coming in here to the natural yet again. Looks like Dragoon's in a better position to help defend against this, but still the dropship's going to come in. Still the damage is going to come in, but only one of the High Templar gets dropped, so that's not as good damage as what he had before. Looks like an Observer going to come out. I saw another shuttle over here somewhere. Where did that go to? I guess he decided not to drop with it because it was quite low on health. But looks like we do have Michael pushing out into the map. He is going to be able to take a third base himself. And the game is coming on in here. Well, it's going to move forward, I guess. I don't know what the hell I'm even saying anymore. Today was such a weird day for me. Like, while we just have a wait for one of them to attack each other, today felt like it went so fast. I wasn't particularly busy, but the stuff I was busy with was really annoying. So I kind of feel like in a daze today. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm going on. Okay, so decimate historically meant kill 1 in every 10 of a group of soldiers as punishment for the whole group. Now the scouting pylons have been killed. Not really a big impact on the game, but Desakwe coming through the forest of no vision, and he is going to head towards the third base of Michael, because he will want to stop him from being able to expand. Michael can't actually afford an expansion right now, and Desakwe has a big army. Let's check the upgrade situation. +1 against +1, so completely even upgrades, but we are going to have kind of both armies doing a ring around the rosy to each other. And this is the worst timing for Michael to be moving out on the map. He is going to be able to fight part of Desakwe's army, which is very good, but the amount of storms here is ridiculous. And that is why you need feedback. But look at this, Desakwe is going to be able to run unimpeded into Michael's base here. And Michael is going to be coming back to defend. And when that happens, you know you're in a lot of trouble. But if Michael can win this engagement with losing very little, he is going to be in a big advantage. But there we go. Natural Nexus goes down. It's 29 probes against 49. The units have been cleaned up, but in spite of that, we still have a 40 supply lead here for our teal Protoss player. And things for poor Michael are going from bad to worse. Somehow, these two zealots with +2 attack against +2 are destroying everything. We've got so many cannons coming up here for Desakwe. Desakwe knows that as long as he holds on to this base, there is no way that Michael is coming back here. There is that shuttle from before. We've got another shuttle coming into the main. Another big storm drop coming in. And this should annihilate the rest of the economy here, although that did not do nearly as much as I thought it would do. And looks like we are going to have Michael pushing towards the cannons. He is going to find he's not going to be able to push in there. We've got DTs out here as well. That is going to make things harder. GG, Michael taps out. Desakwe wins game number 4. And NaS take a 4-0 victory over pSi. Okay, and there we have it. So a 4-0 victory for NaS. I don't think many people will be surprised by that outcome, given the strength of their roster. We had the return of Eon Zerg as well, but Dragon beaten Cold, Striker beaten Grassed, Eon Zerg beating Kiko, and Desakwe taking down Michael in game number 4. That's going to take us to a quick break. Once again, a big thank you to our sponsors, Esport Fund, for donating $1,000 to the prize pool. Matcherino, of course, as well, for giving us so many codes that you guys can use by going to the Matcherino link, entering the code STPL-S4, and donate 50 cents to the prize pool completely free. Can we reach our $2,000 prize pool goal for the season? We've only got 4 or 5 weeks remaining to be able to do it, so if you want to help out, go on over there and contribute. Now, we'll be back in just about 5 minutes for series number 2. Don't go anywhere. Hey, STPL へようこそ。 Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading into our second series here. It is going to be Wico versus Ash. This is actually, I think, quite an important match. I can't quite remember. We're gonna have a look at this in just a second. But starting us off, we've got a ZV team, Utility versus Hit 'em Up. We're gonna have a PVZ between Last and Ogzerg, a PVT between Bypass and Radley, and a PvP between Speed and Quark. So we've kind of got the South Korean team here against the foreign all-stars with people from everywhere. I think Ash have someone from every country on their team at this point, which is kind of cool. But let's have a look at the team rankings to see where this is going to change things, if it can. So still to play this week is, how have I forgotten? I think it's IRK. I literally looked at this. It's NetWars versus Rev. So can this affect the standings? No, it can't. So Ash are cemented in 5th. Wico, actually, if they lose, no, they can't. Yeah, so the standings are already actually decided, I think. But even so, we'll watch the series. It's going to be Wico vs Ash. Going to be pretty good. Let's get into game number 1. It's a TBZ on Charmander. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand corner, in the red, fighting for Ash. It's their STPL captain. It's Hit 'em Up. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner, fighting as the Yellow Zerg from South Korea. It's Wico's Mutali. Okay, so it is a TBZ. We don't often get to see TBZ in the STPL, especially on this map, so kind of looking forward to seeing how this is going to play out. Have we actually had... We've only had one TBZ on this map by Koga beat Eriador. It was a 13-minute game, so it's possible this will be quite a quick series here, but we'll have to find out how it's going to go as we get further into the game, of course. If you think about it, we've had 9 weeks. We're going to do maths on stream again. It's going to be really bad. But we've had 9 weeks worth of series. That is 5 series a week. So that is 45 series overall across the entire group stage. We're on, this is the 44th one. We have had 15 games on Charmander overall. And only one of them is a TBZ so far. This is our second TBZ. So that's quite impressive. I thought we'd get a lot more TBZ here, but I think with every single map... Well, actually, that's not true. Like, PvP, we've only had 3 of them. PvT, we've had 4, and ZVP, we've had 5. So it's not actually been, like, that big of a discrepancy. I guess we just haven't had too many maps on Charmander this season. Because if you think about it, we've had 3 4-player maps this season. This season rotating around. And it means we've seen less of all of them, because usually we would have 3 4-player maps rather than 2, so you'd get a lot more chance to see the maps. But that basically means if we've had 15 games, we've had Charmander as the starting map 3 of the 9 weeks, and it would have been an ace map for 3 of the 9 weeks as well. So 2/3 of the time it's very unlikely. Well, 1/3 of the time it's impossible to see Charmander. 1/3 it's basically very unlikely, and the final third, of course, is going to be when it starts. So we've not had too many games on it. I think overall it's led to some good games. So I think out of a lot of the maps I've had from this season, I'd like to bring this one back. I think it plays out pretty standard as well, so that'll make the players happy. Now Mutali is going for a 2-hatch layer here. We will have a single sunken, most likely be built at the ramp here. Now, Hit 'em Up is possibly going for a 2-port Wraith build here. Now, no, he's not. Sorry, I've clicked on a command center rather than I clicked on this and I was like, this is a starport. This is a starport, ladies and gentlemen. It's everything I wanted. It's 2-port Wraith. Look, while I'm clicked on a command center. That's a big oof. Okay, so the LES finished up now. Now, is Mutali going to go Mutas or is he going to go for a Lurker build? Lurker build is basically never done, but Wico are known for being very aggressive players. We've actually got a Spire coming up at the natural. Now, against Bio, this is incredibly risky. Against Mech, it can be as well if you like rush Siege and you siege it down, but Bio, it's definitely the biggest problem against. But Hit 'em Up going to be playing Mech. This is kind of more his recent style. And I think it kind of suits this map quite well as well. Armory coming up in the top left-hand corner. Are we going to see a starport for some Valkyries? The second factory makes me think no. So he is going to be relying entirely on Goliaths and turrets to be able to defend. Our Bonus has got 211 viewers right now. He is killing it. Still, the live viewers may be low, but the VOD views have actually been pretty high for this season, so it's not too bad. Obviously having more viewers is more fun because there's more people in chat, but it's not the end of the world. It's still fun to cast. Now we've got the Engineering Bay done, we've got the Charon Boosters upgrade coming in. Third hatchery coming in at the second base, so he is going to stay on these two bases for a little bit. Going to use that to defend against any possible Vulture run bys. Lucky Noob trying to get me to 1v1 Doc Holiday. Like if I played Brood War more, I would do it, but I genuinely, I have like no energy to play Brood War. I don't know if it's because I'm not going out anywhere, or if it's because I do just like dawdling around in VR chat doing absolutely nothing. But single Ling beat single Marine. There we go, you saw it. I did play a couple of CPL games, but that was a while ago. That was like a month and a half ago. I've been put into sub this weekend if I need to, but the thing is I'm not even sure if I can make that because I've got something happening on Sunday and I can't remember what it is. Wait, what is the... Is it this week I've got something happening? I can't remember. Oh well. I've got some work to do on Saturday though, that's going to be annoying. But look at this, we've got the Mutalist coming in. There's only a single turret protecting the main. The Goliath's going to help out a little bit, but Goliaths do not do a lot of damage against Mutas. They can micro back against them. And I say they're not doing much damage. They are wrecking their way through this. Nice target firing for sure there by Hit 'em Up. That last Goliath getting a shot off may have just got that Muta killed. It did. Perfect targeting by that turret. And Hit 'em Up is pretty much safe and dry back here in his base. Yeah, I need to take notes of what I'm doing because I mentioned before, but I do have the I have the memory of a goldfish. Like unless someone reminds me of something, I will forget 100%. Ah, that's what I've got coming on Sunday. There's a guy who wants to have a chat with me in the afternoon about language learning in VR chat because he's making like a documentary about VR chat, so he wants to talk to me, which is kind of cool. But looks like we do have Lings coming into the natural. There's actually no units here defending it, so the Lings are going to get both of these turrets, and all of a sudden a very good position for Hit 'em Up is going to become a very bad one because we're going to have Lings on the ground. The Mutas are going to be soaking up the missiles, and a lot of the SCVs are going down here. This is going to cause a lot of problems. I think this could actually be game. It's so unfortunate given he was doing so well, but that was a very nice push. It's not a guy called Glink, but there we go. Hit 'em Up, taps out, GG. Mutali wins game number 1. I'll be back in just a sec. Wrong button. Okay guys, welcome back. Starting us off here in the top left-hand position, in the blue fighting for Ash. From Macedonia, it's Octug. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner in the yellow, subbed in for last. It's not the actual Stork, it's a different Stork. It's Wico's Stork. Yellow versus blue is kind of cool. We don't often really get yellow versus blue, so... Now we do have a Wico Stork going for a wall in here, so it's not going to be... I mean, it could be a forward gateway technically, but it'll be using it as part of a wall. Let's see, so it's going to be a 9 pool coming, sorry, an over, this is an overpool, right? It counts an overpool. It is built on 9, the pool, but it's still an overpool. So overpool from Octug, very standard build. We've got the forward gate coming in here as part of the wall. It is going to be gate first, so there's going to be a little bit of early zealot pressure, but not going to be anything to worry about. I was just mentioning in chat about like the documentary thing about who the guy is, and like he like makes documentaries for fun. I think like it's one of his hobbies. I think he wants to take it more seriously, but because he likes VR chat as well, he's going to make a documentary about that. And he's kind of doing a part about the like JP community, and essentially, I've kind of, because I know so many Japanese people and I'm essentially fluent, I've kind of become his go-between, and like someone else asked me if I could speak to him about it, and I'm like, okay, I don't really want to do this, I just want to like have fun and not really have to worry about anything, but if I can help I will. So that's kind of become one of what I'm going to be doing. Like I don't need to do much, but he wants to ask me about like how... I don't even know what he wants to talk to me about. He just wants like a chat about how to learn languages with VR chat, I think. I mean, I kind of did all my learning before I started, so I might not be the best person, but I meet a lot of people that are learning Japanese primarily through VR chat, and a lot of them are really good. Like, I guess it comes, but there we go. It looks like we are going to have Octug breaking through. Let's not ignore the game. We've got no forge, no cannons. We do have the ramp blocks, but oh my goodness, the zealots go, the zerglings get in anyway. Probes are not that strong, and all of a sudden Octug has 4 lings in his opponent's main base, and this is going to cause some problems. We have no forge yet. We did Nexus before forge is so risky, but Octug is the one being aggressive here, and I didn't think we were going to see that. It looks like Octug wants to try and find his way in. He hasn't done any damage just yet. Only 1 probe has gone down, so these 4 lings haven't really done anything, but this hasn't really cost Octug anything. Now Octug going to come up to the wall, see the forges coming up, going to turn around and go back in. He's like, okay, you've got no cannons yet. And this is going to look good to him because he has just built a ton of lings. Speed is over halfway done here. 3rd hatchery is on the way as well, and it looks like Zerg may be heading towards another victory on this map. Paradise was one of my favorite maps to look at, but the games here are so aggressive. Like, although it kind of does remind me a bit of Bluestorm, but Bluestorm's a little bit harder to be aggressive on. Just the fact that, oh my god, he's coming in, he's going to get the cannon. Oh, that is so annoying. That probe is going to assassinate one of those, but the lings are in such a good spot. Although it looks like the zealots going to be able to hold on to the wall, and this is going to work out way better, but he gets in anyway. Lings are so fast, they do not care. They're covered in butter right now, running through back into the main base. You may have cleaned up his first 4 lings, but Octug is not done yet. We've got more lings rallying across the map as well. Another cannon goes down, and this is going from bad to worse here for Stork. He's starting to lose probes now. It's 16 probes against 9 drones. That is not where you want to be. Honestly, he should probably pull his probes to his natural. Gonna lose another 2 here as well. The links in the main base should be cleaned up. but it's just a constant rally of Lings heading across the map here. Cannons are finding it so hard to come up. And looks like he is finally gonna get a cannon here. There's a good number of zealots, so he should be able to hold on. It is only 9 drones. But if there's only one... Okay, so I don't think this is gonna work. He is building a ton of Lings now. But if he can clear these zealots without losing all of his Lings and go for a counter, I think he wins the game. But if, rightfully so, if these zealots get into his base and he cannot kill them, it's game over for him because he does not have the economy to deal with this. Now these zealots are not defending the wall. This wall is completely naked. Here we go, the Lings get in, they're going to get on top of the cannon. The probes have been pulled as well. Zealots at the front going to kill the 3rd hatchery. Ogzerg doesn't care about this. All Ogzerg cares about is blood, and he wants the blood of the probes right now. Cannon goes down immediately. Probes fighting incredibly valiantly, killing a lot of the Lings. But that's just part of the Ling army. More Lings are going to be heading straight over to this natural now. He knows there's no cannon. There's only a single zealot. 19 probes are available, but only 12 of them are mining. Oh my god, are the probes really going to wall out the Zerglings from being able to kill this cannon? No, they're not. More Lings going to get in. Looks like the Forge is going to be targeted. Lings getting into the main base. 4 of them to be exact. Lings at the front going to be taking down this one zealot that's trying to hold on. The probes are going to come under fire. And this could be the end of the game. It looks like Stalker's done a pretty good job trying to hold on. He's done everything he possibly could here. But Lings are just too strong. 9 drones against 12 probes. GG. Stalk taps out. And Ogzerg wins game number 2. Welcome back, guys. We are going here into game number 3. It's on Pathfinder. Starting us off here in the 12 o'clock position, we have the Ghost King himself, is Radley. Complaining about lag. Okay, just before I introduce the opponent, you're both lagging. You are both lagging. Not only does he lag on turn rate 14, you are lagging on turn rate 14 as well, Radley. Oh my god, Radley, why? Starting us off down here in the bottom right hand corner in the in the magenta, fighting as Protoss. It's Digda. Playing go okay? Okay. Why is Radley arguing with Digda? I don't understand. Like, what does this achieve? Just play the game. Dancing go. Okay. Radley's being BM here, and this, am I gonna have to go all Kesper? Am I gonna have to ban people from chatting? If anyone says anything other than GG or PP, that's them out the game. That's them disqualified and they lose the game, right? Is that what I'm gonna have to do in Season 5? Am I really gonna have to turn into, am I gonna have to turn into, like, Kesper for real? To stop people arguing in chat? Like, what the hell? PP means pause, please. And there was an infamous game where Go Rush, one of the best SK Telecom T1 Zergs ever, was, and now a really good caster, was disqualified because he accidentally typed 1 extra P. It wasn't fun. That was a really stupid thing, but it was Kesper. Kesper rules. You don't adhere to their rules, they will ban you. I think he got banned for a week as well. I think he got, like... I think he got stopped from playing for a week because of that. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Instead of PP, he was like PPP because he pressed the button too much. Now, we've actually got quite a decent number of bets this time. We've got 2 and 2. A lot of people got 2 people going for Radley, 2 for Digda. Some big numbers. Some big numbers being voted. Now, SCP says that was the dumbest decision. That was the rules. That was the rules. If you don't stick to the rules... Oh my god, Radley let the probe into his base. That is so funny. I love it when stuff like that happens. It just feels so bad as Terran. We've got Dragoon range coming up off of 1 gate, so we are going to have an expansion. Around 23 supply for Digda. Radley going for his own expansion as well off of the back of the factory, but he's building his command center late, so... Yeah, this command center's really late. Maybe he's not doing that. Maybe he's just trying to kill the probe before he does it, but... Thing is, while you say banning someone for a typo is dumb no matter what, I do understand that. But if that's what the rule states, and in the rules that is the punishment for chatting in-game, you either stick to the rules, or you end up making the rules invalid. That's the problem. You have to stick to the rules no matter how ridiculous they are, because otherwise the rules become invalid, essentially. That's why last season, like, if people didn't host on top versus bottom, I find them a match. Like, it didn't really affect too many players, it didn't affect my playoff positions at all, but it still meant that people had to listen to the rules. Now, nice movement on these Marines. Going to force the Dragoons back. Gets the Vulture out here. But looks like the Marines going to have to pull back to the high ground. One of the Marines taking a little bit extra damage. He needs all these Marines alive if he can. Because now he's going to have to deal with Dragoons at his wall. And this is so annoying. But Radley's going for 3 factory on 1 base. There is no way this works, surely. But Digda is only just now getting his Nexus up. It's just finished. He's only got 2 gateways, the second gateway isn't done, and it's an observatory, it's not Reaver. So 3 factory could actually end up winning Radley the game. Okay, the tank gonna come out, gonna block these Dragoons from being able to kill his wall, but does need to make sure he repairs. Digda losing these Dragoons is actually massive. He can't afford to lose these. Okay, so Radley playing with his patented style of absolutely no idea what he's doing. Looks like the Vulture getting killed at the natural. I don't think he killed any probes, may have killed 1. But Radley definitely doing something a little bit unconventional. The command center is coming up, so he is expanding behind this push. But he is going to have speed Vultures without mines and siege mode. heading towards his opponent's base right now. And Radley always knows what he's doing, but I never know what he's doing because I can never tell. But he has been winning a lot of games recently. Radley has actually won 3 of his last 5 games. And before that, he lost like 9 games in a row. So Radley is in a good spot. He is doing really well. Digda hasn't really been doing too well this season of STPL. Oh, I say that. He's won all 3 of his games. I'm getting the screens mixed up. But look at this. We've got vultures running into the main base. There's 2 vultures going to... 1 vulture going to the natural, 2 into the main. It takes 2 vultures to one-shot a probe. He is killing a lot of probes already here. And there's vultures in the natural. Imagine if he'd had mines at this point. Where are the tanks, though? Did he lose his tank? Did he just not push with the tank? One of the vultures stays alive in the main base here. It's got 3 kills. I guess the Dragoons focus via the tank, but... SCP saying a big contention in US lore is interpretation versus original intent of the lore. Sounds like Kix is a textualist. I am and I'm not. Like, I don't know. It's difficult. Because the thing is, you can, as Lucky Noob says, you can always interpret laws differently. But that's why the laws and rules need to be set specifically to begin with all the context you could possibly need. So you can't interpret it wrong. Like, that's how laws need to be written. But Radley's 3-fact didn't really do much damage. He killed like 5 or 6 probes, I think. Maybe 7 or 8. But he is going to be able to secure his expansion behind this. He's going to be in an okay spot. Looks like we're at 58k out the 70k for the drinking stream. Now we're at 60k. 10k remaining, which means 1 more stream and you guys will be able to meet that goal. And then I've got to try and figure out when I'm actually going to do it. I'll probably do it on one of the weekdays where I'm not doing STPL when there's a gap after this week. So it'll probably be on Wednesday or Friday. Drinking on a Wednesday seems like a bad idea, but I've done it before, so it's okay. But looks like we are going to have a Reaver dropping off at the main base. There's a very nice place to drop. The tank's on the low ground. Gonna find it hard to get back into his base. Looks like mine's still not in position to defend the base. Nice target firing on the tanks, though. Not doing too bad. Doesn't take too much damage, but that Zealot is a prime-time assassin. But the Reaver does go down without doing too much damage. And there we go. And now we're at 64k, so... I don't know. I've still got to decide what I want to drink. I think I'll probably buy some gin and tonic, because I've been drinking a lot of rum recently. I do like rum. But there's only so much rum and coke you can drink before you get bored. 66k. Okay. I didn't set this high enough. Yeah, you need to... The thing is... I know people don't like me talking politics or whatever, but SCP saying not all situations can be thought of and accounted for, judgment always comes in somewhere, and when there's an edge case you should not apply strict wording when that wasn't what it was intended for. But I agree with Lucky Noob that you should fix the laws in that case. Like, there's so many, like, for example, there is literally a law in the UK which says that it's, like, there's some place in the UK where it's legal to kill an Irishman on a certain day, right? It's just dumb. Like, it's such an old law, but it's technically still a law. Why is it not written out from being a law? It shouldn't be a law anymore. Yeah, you shouldn't... Okay, you should... I don't know. It's really dumb. Like, laws are stupid. But here we go. Lots of damage coming in from Radley here. This is exactly the kind of play he needs to make. He's now going to be ahead, almost in workers. He's going to be able to get some more vulture kills, some more kills up here. Mine's not being laid, though. Radley actually being a little bit lax with his mine laying, so he's not getting as much damage as maybe he could do. We do have a tank, though, running around behind here, going to the third base. He's going to be able to get into the natural here. And there are so many... if he just sieges up... And has he got scans? He's not got scans, so he's not going to be able to attack the... Not going to be able to... Oh, but the Dragoons are actually going to give him vision. Oh, but he only gets vision of the Dragoons, so... Oh, well, this tank isn't going to do anything. Vulture's cleaned up in the main, but Radley... Wait, did Radley lose some... Radley lost some workers to something. I guess there was a Reaver drop or something. Oh, there is a Reaver. There was a Reaver in his main base. He lost another load of SCVs. I could not see it was under the engineering bay. But looks like the Reaver did get taken down. So 46 versus 32. Both players kind of going at loggerheads. Juggerheads? I was thinking the word juggernaut. But going at loggerheads here, doing a lot of damage to each other's worker lines. This is probably going to end up being a long game, because both players are kind of just attacking each other over and over again. No one's really killing anyone, but they're not doing enough damage to end the game, and they're just kind of evening it up for each other. Now Radley is going to be a little bit behind in supply, so he is going to have to come back on this one. +1 attack is coming in quite late. He should be working on +2 already, but as we can see, there's no signs to leave. But that's because his opening was so weird. Like, when you go for a normal standard 2-1 opening, then you can do it no problem. It's not a big deal whatsoever. But when you go for something else, it delays your upgrades. Now, if you can do enough damage, that's not necessarily a problem. You don't need the upgrades as such if your army is still stronger than your opponent's. But if you throw away a load of units, don't do enough damage, your opponent's army is going to be so much stronger than yours without those upgrades, and that is going to cause some problems. Now, Radley, I think, should siege some tanks up here, so he gets the free pot shots on these units. It looks like we have reached the drinking stream total, so I'm going to have to figure out when I'm going to do that. But there we go. Okay, so next time, I'm going to have to do a little bit of a longer one, because that didn't work. So we've got another Reaver shuttle coming in here. It's not going to find its way easily into the base, but could still make it in. Look like we've got a... Oh, this is going to be a good drop. He's actually dropping with two sets of dropships here. He's got vultures out here to lay mines. And a lot of Digda's units are actually at the bottom of the map here, not doing anything. Now, oh my god, the Glads are going to get one of the shuttles. No, they're not. But these mines are going to get a lot of these zealots here. The zealots have been cleaned up. The tanks have actually done not much damage. Digda pulled away at the perfect second. But he is going to be able to kill the most of this army. Here we go. The Reaver shot actually been brought back here. And he is going to be able to clean this up. But he's taken a lot of units and a lot of damage to do so. Okay, so now both players' drops are kind of over here, but we've got Radley taking a 4th base here at the other main. If he can secure this base, it's going to make it very difficult for Digda to win this game later on. Now, on this map especially, carriers are very strong. The best TVPs to be played on this map were Fancy vs Stork and Fancy vs Jangby, all 4 of them. They were incredible games. All of them came down to carriers at the end of it, and it's because the carriers are so damn strong here. This is literally one of the best carrier maps in the game. Arbiters are good, but it's actually really easy to defend your bases. But if you get the other main, what it means is your opponent, your Protoss opponent, is limited in the number of gas bases they can take. Now we've got a Reaver coming off in the main base. Nice pull away on the workers. We've got a Wraith here, which is going to help clear out some of these shuttles, at least push it away. But we don't have much defense back at home for Radley, so Radley's in a lot of trouble. His armory is in a lot of trouble here, and that's definitely something you can't afford to lose. His second armory going to be killed. Oh, it looks like we're going to have Digda desperately going for this. No target firing, no repair. The repair coming in, but it can't get it. +2 is cancelled, and all of a sudden Radley is in a lot of trouble. He saves his other armory, but that's not going to help him too much. We've got Dragoons coming in at the 3rd base as well, and they're going to cancel this 3rd from being able to mine. And they're even going to be able to kill the command center as well. Digda, in one fell swoop, may have just won the game. And looks like some mines coming in at the back, not doing much damage. The dropships are actually in a terrible position. And it looks like Radley may lose the game right here, right now. The mines are doing pretty good. The tanks in the main base doing a lot of damage to the Dragoons, but it doesn't matter. The problem Radley has is his economy is in tatters. His 3rd base is down. The only benefit he has is this base here. Now, if he can wall this off, he is still in an okay spot. He's stopping the 5th base coming up from Digda. But Digda, of course, does have his 4th base down here. Now Radley's army, which was just about to receive +2 attack, is not going to be receiving it. He's actually building plus... Wait, did he lose his science facility? No, his science facility is here. He does have a covert ops. Now it looks like Radley is going to go for a big push. He knows a lot of Digda's units have actually been hurt quite badly. But there's going to be a big drop coming into his main base right now, and he has absolutely no units defending it. Now we've got the tanks sieging up down here. We've got the Goliaths trying to take down the dropships, but not enough of them. There's a High Templar here stood in the middle of everything. It doesn't storm, and this actually means Radley's army might be able to clean these up, but there goes the storms. Storms so powerful in PvT. And that completely annihilates Radley's army. He's got no units left. He's got like 24 supply in in attacking units right now, and that's not good enough. Now we've got a probe coming down here. The wall isn't finished, and this means the probe's going to be able to get into the base, and or he's going to probably send some units down here now. Now we've got some units coming around the top side of the base. He's actually got a second armory up here, but he didn't start researching at it. Didn't really have the gas. Now the wall is starting to be finished off, but it's not a perfect wall here. Yeah, he actually built the wall wrong. He needs to... I guess it works against Dragoons regardless. We've got 2 tanks at the top of the ramp. This should help him defend the base. But there is, of course, shuttles coming in. And they are filled with zealots, filled with melee units. And as we all know well and truly, zealots are the counter to tanks. And looks like even just 6 zealots dropping in the base is going to be enough to kill it. Dragoons coming in from the low ground. Radley is going to lose the final bastion of hope he has in this game. He's got no way of reinforcing this. And this is going to be game over. Digda playing this incredibly well. Going to take Wico up 2-1. And it's going to be up to Quark to try and save the series for Ash. Now Radley trying to come in and do some damage. Unable to do it. We've got Goliaths getting some of the units out here. But there's just so much pink. So little orange. And I mean, this army is not going to do anything. Radley is going to fall back, but GG, win by lag. Radley taps out, bypass. Sorry, Digda wins game number 3. Okay guys, welcome back. We're going here into game number 4. It's Ash versus Wico. Wico are currently up 2-1. And Speed here, currently on match point in the 12 o'clock location, is going to be looking to bring home the bacon in the grey. And his opponent, one of the only well-known British Brood War players. It's basically Quark, Midian, Elegant as the 3 that I know. I don't know any others. And Cadenzi, of course, as well. I don't know why I forgot Cadenzi. It's Quark. In the magenta. So it's a PvP. It's on Blindside. This is actually the 5th PvP we've had on this map now. Games, as I said before, haven't gone on very long. The average game duration in PvP is only 11 minutes, but it's actually the 6th PvP, so it was one off. Now, Speed hasn't played too many games in the STPL. Out of the 6 he's played, 3 of them have been PvP. He's won 2, lost 1. And Quark hasn't... Well, he's played 2 PvPs and he's actually at a 100% win rate here. He beat Quanwu from DM and Sandra as well from DM. So he's won twice against DM, but hasn't really played PvP against any other places. Now, I can't fail to point this out. There is a gateway outside of Quark's base. And when there's a gateway out, I still don't understand this, right? The probe is just going to walk out and find the proxy. Like, do you really care that little about the proxy gateway being found that you just build it in your opponent's natural? Is that what we do now? Like, I swear people used to hide proxy gateways. Like, they just don't do it anymore in PvP. They're just like, oh, you can build it in the middle of the map. Doesn't really matter. I'll build it in your main. Who cares? Trouble is, if you put it in the main, they can pull probes and kill it. But looks like we are going to have a Zealot against the Zealot here in the main base. We've got another proxy pylon coming up here. That is 2 mana pylons. He can actually start building like a shield battery or something here if he wants to. 1 probe going down so far. Probe actually dangerously low on health. Not much mining going on back at home for Quark here. The Cyber Core is going to finish up. So we are going to see a Dragoon coming in, but oh my god, this probe is still alive. 1 hit away from death. Probe goes down though, no shield battery going to be coming in. But Quark is actually, with his own pylon... Wait, he's not actually locked in any probes. I thought all those probes were locked in, but they weren't. But it looks like the probes are all going to try and take out this pylon. Maybe a waste of mining time. But it looks like it is going to be 2 Zealots against 1. Second Zealot going to be coming in from the other side. And let's see how this is going to go. Back at home, we've got another 2 gateways coming in. There's going to be 3 gate against 1. And there's going to be nothing but Zealots. Mineral only from Wico Speed. He's going to try and win without ever taking his gas. And that could be a problem. Quark doing a pretty good job microing so far. Maybe he spent a little bit too much time microing his probes and not enough time mining, because all of a sudden we have speed up probes and also up in supply. Oh, he's only up in supply by the probes, but how he's managed to get this far ahead in probes, I'm not too sure. Quark didn't lose too many. But that's just how it is. This mana pylon not actually doing a single thing. It's actually making the mining more efficient, which is kind of funny. You should probably leave that alive. But looks like it is going to be 3 Zealots against 2 and a Dragoon. But now we've got 2 for 2 now. Doesn't want to take any hull damage on these Dragoons, though, which he is. A little bit of miss micro here for Quark. And I'm shaking my damn head here, Quark. You can't proxy gateway your opponent this late in the game. It ain't gonna work. If you build it in your opponent's natural now, there is a guarantee that he's got gateways back at home. Surely that is gonna do nothing, right? Quark, you're having a laugh here, mate, right? Let's go into the British talk here, mate. Like, what are you doing? What are you actually doing? Like, look at this. He's going for a second gateway. There's a Zealot per gateway right now. He's still killing this pylon. He doesn't need to. Like, he actually doesn't need to. Quark is having a giraffe in this game. He's not cancelling this second gateway. He's not cancelling this Zealot either, even though the pylon's gonna die. There's a single Dragoon here against 3 Zealots. We've got 2 more Zealots coming in and a Dragoon, but they're both quite heavily damaged. The Gateway is going to finish. Is he really not going to cancel this? Okay, come on. Come on now. Quark. Quark. I'm not being funny, but what are you doing? Is he going to send a probe? He's got a probe here. He's like, okay, I'm going to win with the Dragoons. I'm going to win with the Dragoons. I'm going to build the pylon. And I'm going to rebuild 2 Zealots of the Gateways. Now, the probe is still alive. The Zealots have to deal with the Dragoons. But these Dragoons are going to get themselves trapped between a rock and a hard place. And Quark is going to lose his whole army. This is game over. GG. Quark taps out. Speed wins game number 4. And it turns out building 2 gateways in your opponent's base and not your own one after you defend a proxy gateway is not the right way to play. But there we go. Quark gave it a go. He gave it the old college try. And it just didn't work. Okay, so that is going to bring us an end to our second series today. We had Wico versus Ash. Mutely started us off strong with a very quick win over Hit 'em Up on Charmander. Ogzerg with a very aggressive ZVP win over Stalk on Paradise. Digda beating Radley on Pathfinder. Speed beating Quark on Blindside. And that gave Wico the 3-1 victory. We have one more day left of the STPL. The playoff positions are already confirmed, so I can basically tell the teams who they're going to be playing against in round 1, and I'll announce it to you guys on Friday. But I'll be back on Friday, same time, 2100 CET. Thank you once again to our sponsors, Esport Fund and Maturino, for both being such good sports. If you want to help support the prize pool, please put your money towards the Maturino. There is also a code you can enter, STPLS4, to add 50 cents to the prize pool completely free, with $600 off of our prize pool goal. Let's see if we can make it and make the same, or basically match our prize pool from Season 3, because that'd be really, really cool to do. But once again, thank you to everyone who tuned in and watched. Thank you to all our players, captains, our sponsors again, the people who support on Patreon, as well as all the people that have supported on Maturino. I will see you guys on Friday. Have a very good afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are. And see you next time. If you're watching this, you're watching the STPL. Hopefully, you've been enjoying what you've seen so far. If you want to help me make more STPL content to bring more tournaments to you, please support us on Patreon, which you can find up here. And also, there's so many different things you can get through Patreon. One of the main and one of the easiest ones to get is, of course, access to all of the replays of the STPL so far. We've had some amazing games, such as some of the games you can see just over here.